What is up, friend? Can we have one of those conversations today where we pretend that we're sitting on the couch with coffee, messy hair, no makeup, and absolutely zero pressure to have it all figured out? Because I think we need this one. Have you ever looked around at everyone else's lives and thought, man, I feel a little bit behind. Am I behind? Or maybe I should have more accomplished or done by now? Or maybe I should be happier because everything looks fine. And maybe you have. Maybe you've spent the years checking the boxes. Maybe you've done the marriage and the kids and the white picket fence or the career and the house and the being the dependable one, being the strong one, being the woman who always says yes. And then one day you wake up and you realize you're living a life that looks good from the outside, but doesn't really feel good on the inside. If that's you, I want you to know something today. You are allowed to rewrite the definition of success, and you're allowed to change your mind whenever you want. You're allowed to stop explaining yourself for what you're choosing or doing. You're allowed to become the woman that you needed to years ago. So today we're talking about what it really means to live true to you, to live in alignment with you. A few years ago, I had one of those moments where it was like stop in your tracks type situation. Like, whoa, I was totally exhausted. I mean, like, can't wait to go back to sleep at night. Like, can it be nighttime so I can go back to sleep, right? And not because I had just worked my 12-hour shift or because I was carrying a whole bunch of expectations of everyone around me. I was trying to be everything. I was trying to be the perfect mom, the supportive, friend, the friend who doesn't forget birthdays, the business owner who always had new ideas, the woman who exercised every day, who had the meal prep down, who was doing all the things, who volunteered for, good causes. And the woman that smiles and is like, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. Meanwhile, I couldn't even remember the last time that I asked my own self, what do I actually really want? What do I want this life to look like? Not like the Instagram of the expectations of what everybody else wants, not what society thinks I should have, but what do I want? Not even way back when you're a kid, when you're a kiddo and you're like, oh, I can't wait till I get big and I want this, this, and that. Not even that. Just me right now and being radically honest with myself. And that question kind of freaked me out because if I actually answered it truthfully and honestly with myself, it means some things had to change. It means some things had to shift. And then, of course, the unknown, dun dun dun, right? Then the unknown. Maybe you've been there too, right? Because somewhere along the way, we somehow absorb or inherit somebody else's definition of success or what somebody else thinks that we should be doing that's successful. More money, more followers on social media, more accomplishments, being more productive, having more of everything. And we chase it because we think that once it arrives, we will finally feel the feeling and it will finally be enough and we will finally be enough and be like, yes, heck yeah, we've done it. Except the finish line keeps moving. It keeps moving. What if success isn't having more? What if success isn't waking up in this super peaceful state? What if success is laughing with your kids? What if it is having peace throughout the day or parts of the day and not the whole day? Or what if it's just taking a walk or reading a book or I don't know, starting over at 45 because you can. Maybe you want to go back to school at 52. I don't know, maybe you want to leave a job that totally sucks the life out of you and you're over it and you want to leave that job. Or creating a boundary to where all of that like energy sucking whatever out of this boundary, you create this boundary and like suddenly you have all this energy. Maybe having dinner without checking your phone. Success is super personal to each person. And the moment that you define it for yourself, you stop living somebody else's life and you start being in more alignment and living life for yourself. Comparison can be super sneaky. This is when it comes in. Because when you start to do that and break free from that, sometimes you'll be like, "Oh, but that over there," right? It it tells us that we are inspired when really we're feeling inadequate. So how do we flip that? If we scroll for 5 minutes and suddenly we're starting to question everything that we decided, like, oh my God, look at her. She's traveling everywhere. She's launching her business. She's decorating her house. Look at how perfect it looks, like magazine perfect. Man, she's losing weight. She seems so much happier. Or at least that's what it looks like from the outside, right? But here's something that I have learned. You're comparing your ordinary Tuesday to somebody's highlight reel. Nobody posts the anxiety. Nobody posts the tears in the bathroom. Nobody posts the doubts at 2 o'clock in the morning. And comparison steals that light. It steals that gratitude, the confidence, the happiness, the joy. And the biggest thing it steals is your time that you never get back. Imagine what your life would look like if you spent all that energy building your dreams instead of measuring, comparing. Look at that. Look at that. I need to get that. And then talking to yourself against somebody else's highlight reel facade on the outside. So I want to really ask something here. Can we normalize making decisions without writing a 5-page essay to define them with all the reasons behind the decision we're making? Why are we doing that? Women are taught to soften every decision. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I just thought. Oh, I hope that's okay. We explain why we can't attend or why we changed our career, or why we need rest, why we're saying no, why we're saying yes. Okay, truth. No, it's a complete sentence and it's fine. I've decided. I can't make it. Done. That doesn't work out for me. Done. Those are complete thoughts. Those are complete sentences. The people who truly are there for you and love you in your life do not require endless explanations. And the people demanding them usually are not looking for understanding. They're usually looking for permission to disagree with what you decided. And you don't owe anyone that. You don't owe anyone explanations of what you're choosing for your life. I could get on a whole soapbox about this. I want to move into like looking at your current season of life with all of this. So, can we also stop pushing ourselves for not being where we thought we would be right now? Maybe you thought you'd have, maybe you thought you'd have a different marriage. Maybe you thought you'd still be married and you're not and you're divorced. Maybe you have a different career, different body, house, bank account, confidence, I don't know, life. But life doesn't always follow the timeline we create. And that doesn't mean that you failed. Okay. Trees don't bloom all year long. They rest. They grow roots. They lose their leaves. They start again. We, you, us are allowed to have seasons too. Maybe this season is healing for you. Maybe it's rebuilding or learning, or maybe it's survival. Maybe it's just surviving because every season has a purpose. You don't need to rush through to get to the other side because somebody else seems to be blooming before you do. Be in the season that you're in. And what can also help is celebrating the small wins. I think as women and moms and boss babes, we are terrible at celebrating ourselves. We finish something and immediately move the goalpost and move to the next thing. Like, oh, I only walked 20 minutes. I only drank enough water today. I only cleaned one room. I only applied for one job. Listen, friend. Listen, friend. You did it. Flip the script. I walked 20 minutes today. That's 20 more minutes than you did at all. I drank enough water today. Heck yeah, you drank enough water today. And you cleaned one room. and you applied for one job. That is more than you did the day before. You did it. Progress deserves recognition. Tiny wins create that confidence. Celebrating them and honoring that rewires your brain. And when tiny wins create confidence, confidence creates action. Action creates momentum. Momentum changes lives. Celebrate making the appointment. Celebrate saying no. Celebrate resting. Celebrate showing up. Celebrate trying again. Find the little things that you have done and be proud of that, honor that, celebrate that, because those little things turn into big ones. They turn into the big things. And somewhere we learned along the line, somewhere we learned like being busy equals being valuable. Excuse me? Being busy, I know I was a big culprit of this, and it took me a while to rewire this one because holy smoly. If if we are exhausted, that means we're working hard. If we're overwhelmed, we're succeeding. If we're constantly producing things, that means we're worthy. I disagree, right? But what if your worth, what if I told you that your worth has nothing to do with your productivity? How does that feel? Right? You are valuable on your most productive day. You are valuable on the day you stay in your PJs and have messy hair. You're valuable when you're thriving. You're valuable when you're healing. You never have to earn you being a human, being a woman. Rest isn't something that you deserve after you've done enough. It's not something that you deserve by checking more boxes. Rest is something that is part of you being a human. Part of you being a human. Another shift that I want to talk about might be the biggest shift of all. Let me ask you this. Are you building a life that impresses people or one that actually feels good to you to live? Because those are not always the same. Maybe your happiest life isn't the biggest house. Maybe it's a small, tiny home filled with laughter. Maybe success isn't six figures. Maybe it's the flexibility in your time. Maybe happiness isn't being invited everywhere. Maybe it's one incredible friend who knows your heart. Please stop performing. Stop proving yourself. Stop chasing applause from other people who are not living your life. Create things that you enjoy. Create mornings that you enjoy. Conversations that matter. Relationships that fill up your cup. Moments where you actually breathe because at the end of your life, yes, I'm talking about that because at the end of your life, no one hands you an award for being the busiest woman in the room or fulfilling somebody else's expectation. But you're going to remember how your life felt if you lived it. Not the, I wish I would have done that. I still wanted to do this. I still wanted to do that. You're living it now. Do it now. Start now, friend. There is only one version of your life. One. And it is not forever. It is not years and years and years. It's the older you have to feel this. Like the older you get, the things go faster. Like weeks feel like days, months feel like weeks, years feel like months. It's like you get on this hyper warp speed of whatever. When you want it to slow down, it does the opposite. And every day that you are trying to become someone else is another day that you miss becoming yourself. You don't need permission. You don't need perfection. You don't need everyone or anyone's approval. You only need courage to take the next step. You are allowed to redefine success. You are allowed to stop comparing yourself. You are allowed to make choices without explaining them. Grow in your own season. Celebrate your tiny victories. And please allow yourself to rest. And most importantly, you're allowed to create a life that feels so good that you stop worrying whether anyone else even understands it. Because this isn't about becoming a different woman. It's about finally coming home to the woman that you've been all along and living aligned and true to you. So in true fashion, I'm going to give you some more tools for your toolbox here to help you come back to you, come home to you. Tool number 1 is this mine question. I freaking love this question. It can free you from so many different things. Whenever you feel a lot of pressure, ask yourself, is this expectation actually mine or did I borrow it from somebody else? If it's borrowed, give yourself permission to put that down. Nope, not for me. Sorry. Do you need to go find what is for you right away? No, you don't. Because the work could just be putting it down and then deciding what you want to do next. Tool number 2, the daily win list. I love this. I do it at night. Every evening, I write down 3 wins, and I will start with the smallest little things. Maybe add a big one in there if it's hard to get the small ones. Because sometimes when you're starting out, that's just what it does, right? You first think of the big ones and then try to get smaller and smaller and smaller to help you with this. They can be anything. I drank water. I asked for help. I rested. I took a walk. I laughed today. Watch your brain begin to notice the progress instead of the shortcomings. You literally rewire your brain when you do the daily win list. Number 3, the comparison reset. This is a huge one. When comparison starts, notice it, pause, replace it with gratitude. I am thankful for what? I don't need her life to love mine. I don't need that person that I'm comparing, whatever X, to love my life. Tool number 4, the permission slip. Write this somewhere so you can see it as like a reminder. Put it on your phone, put it on a sticky note, put it wherever you want to. I don't have to earn rest, happiness, or peace. Tool number 5, the feel good filter. So before saying yes to things, ask yourself, will this make my life feel better or just make it look better? If it only serves like appearance, facade, give yourself permission to reconsider if you actually want to say yes, because maybe the answer could be no. Now, weekly challenge. Because you know a girl likes a challenge. A little competitive over here. This week, I want you to choose one thing that you've been doing because you think you should. The whole shoulding situation, right? Maybe it's volunteering, attending an event, overworking, apologizing for everything, or chasing someone else's version of success. And instead, I want you to choose one thing that feels true to you, that feels good to you. Take the walk, read the book, say no. Maybe you want to take a nap. Maybe you want to celebrate yourself for a minute. Maybe you want to start this dream that you've been having. Just start it. Stick a toe in. You don't have to do the whole thing and have this whole thing planned out. Just start it. Because every time you choose yourself, you are coming back to you. You are getting closer to the life that you want to feel, live, and be. And I promise you, those small choices will all add up. And it won't just be a life that's beautiful on the outside. It will be deeply, joyfully, authentically yours. Until next week, please remember that you don't need to become more to be enough. You simply need to give yourself permission to be the woman that you've always been. I'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, learned something new, or got some gems to take away that will boost your week. I release a new episode each week, so make sure to click that follow button to not miss what is coming next. If you love the show or want to share a story, send me a quick message. I love hearing from listeners. If you know someone who needs this episode in their life, go ahead and share it with them. I'm sure they would love you for it. If you are looking to connect more, check out the show notes for all the social links, my website. I would love to hear how this episode helped you and what you loved about it. If there's a topic you want to hear about, send that too. All right, ladies, now is the time to release your inner power.